They came, they sang, they conquered, they vanished. Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're taking a deep dive into the world of one-hit wonders. And we're starting with the greatest ones from the 1990s.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best one-hit wonders of the 1990s.
You know, say that I'm a slummy, I go blam. I lick your boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a slummy, stop somewhere down the lane.
For this list, we're looking at those artists who scored a big but solitary hit during the decade of grunge and boy bands. Because we are focusing primarily on US charts, something like Brand Van 3000's Drinking in LA does not qualify. So, what was your favorite one-hit wonder of the 90s? Number 10, Bittersweet Symphony, The Verve. While all four of the Verve's albums experienced some degree of success in the UK, the Britpop band had to wait until their third project, Urban Hymns, to score their solitary hit in the States. Bittersweet Symphony is a densely packed melodic epic that's nearly perfect from beginning to end.
Bittersweet symphony that's life.
Laced with sharp lyrics that juxtapose excellently with the song's fantastic music video, the track makes brilliant use of an infectious riff from Andrew Oldham's cover of the Rolling Stones' The Last Time, a sample that resulted in some legal squabbles.
And I'm a million different people from one day to the next I can change.
Number 9. Tub Thumping, Chumbawamba. Debuting in 1985 in the UK punk rock scene, Chumbawamba released 8 albums before scoring their big crossover hit, a feat they would never really attempt again.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
Tub Thumping is the bar jam to end all bar jams. An explosive rock song with a contagious main chorus, scarce verses that do not get in the way, and memorable vocal hooks courtesy of Lou Watts and Dunstan Bruce.
He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He sings the songs that remind him of the good time.
Tub Thumping is not representative of most of Chumbawamba's songs, so it's hardly surprising that the band never scored another major hit in the States.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Number 8. You Get What You Give, New Radicals.
Kids, we got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, they got you down on your knees.
Despite only peaking at number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100, the New Radicals' You Get What You Give feels like the definitive song of the late 90s post-Nirvana period, when music adopted a slicker and sunnier sheen.
When the night is falling, you cannot find the light.
A tightly written pop rock track that constantly shakes things up throughout its 5-minute runtime. You Get What You Give mixes socially conscious themes with melodies for days.
Don't let go, you got the music in you. One dance left.
The final versus celebrity callouts can overshadow the rest of the song, which is a shame since this entire track should be remembered and celebrated.
Courtney Love and Marilyn Manson, you're off, they run to your mansions, come around, we'll kick your ass in.
The New Radicals split up soon after the song's release, but their one album is definitely worth a spin. Number 7. How Bizarre, OMC. Sometimes all it takes to make a song instantly unforgettable is a single line, and this one-hit wonder has 2 of them.
Brother Bellas in the back, sweet singers in the front, cruising down the freeway in the hot, hot sun.
Released by New Zealand's OMC, How Bizarre is a breezy track with nearly indecipherable lyrics, all connecting to a brilliant main chorus.
How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre.
Accompanied by a summary instrumental, Polyphomana, the lead vocalist, combines the oddly catchy How Bizarre hook with bright background vocals by a group of female singers.
It's making me crazy every time I look around.
All these elements combine to create a truly peerless track, at least in terms of uniqueness. OMC never came close to having another hit in the States, but How Bizarre is quite the exception.
Every time I look around,
Every time I look around, it's in my face.
Number 6. Mr. Vain, Culture Beat. Eurodance was a reliable source for one-off commercial hits during the 90s, and few of the genre's success stories compare favorably to Mr. Vain. The track's pulsating electro beat instantly conjures up images of German raves, with the bass and keyboards adding extra dimensions to the instrumental. While lyrics don't tend to be a big focus of Eurodance, Mr. Vain has more going for it than just an earworm chorus. Tying everything together is Tanya Evans, whose strong and confident vocals managed to make Mr. Vain's somewhat clumsy English work in the song's favor. Number 5. Sex and Candy, Marcy Playground. As post-grunge took hold of the rock scene, the airwaves started to be flooded with moody but less aggressive songs.
Hanging round downtown by myself, and I had so much time.
For the band's only charting single on the Billboard Hot 100, Marcy Playground released the evocative Sex and Candy, a short and slow-paced rocker with somber vocals.
I smell sex and candy here.
Often attracting comparisons to Nirvana, Sex and Candy mixes suggestive lyrics with radio-ready friendliness. The chorus's opening line is one of the most memorable of the late 90s, while the song's surreal music video splendidly complements Sex and Candy's tone and mystique. Marcy Playground created something special with their one bona fide hit.
Who's that casting devious stares in my direction? Mama, this surely is a dream.
Number 4. No Rain, Blind Melon. The rock scene of the early 90s consisted of far more than just grunge, and Blind Melon's hit stands out as a prime example of that.
all I can say is that my life is pretty plain.
No Rain has a loose, almost jam session feel to it, and the track incorporates psychedelic influences into what is otherwise a familiar alternative rock sound.
Don't understand why I sleep all day, and I start to complain.
Although quite a happy song, lyrically, No Rain deals with depression and alienation, elements reflected in its iconic music video. As great as the track is, No Rain might not have been as massive of a hit without its accompanying B-Girl video. Number 3. Steal My Sunshine, Len. Released right before the end of the 90s, Steal My Sunshine reflects just how much the music landscape had changed throughout the decade.
I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week, indulging in my self-defeat.
A pop-rock blast that sprinkles in elements of hip-hop, Len's summertime anthem combines a sugary sweet hook with clever verses that add depth to the overall package.
I know it's up for me,
If you steal my sunshine,
making sure I'm not.
Making expert use of a sample of Andrea True Connection's More, 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 Steal My Sunshine jumps back and forth between two singers, Mark and Sharon Costanzo, as the song paints a picture of a hazy summer rave.
now the funny clear to pay, leave me tearing, staring underneath, involved in unusual feet.
Len would go on to release a few more albums, although none would spawn a single as big as Steal My Sunshine.
If you steal my sunshine,
Something hard to see.
if you steal my sunshine.
Number 2. Informer, Snow. It's difficult to imagine that Informer could have topped the Billboard Hot 100 in any other year besides 1993, and even then it was controversial.
Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like you boom boom down.
Released by Snow, a Canadian musician, Informer fuses reggae and hip-hop while lyrically covering a range of topics, including police raids and the vocalist's musical influences.
When you can part through my window, so they put me in the back the car at the station. From that point on, I reached my destination.
Except for one unforgettable and somewhat confusing verse in the chorus, Informer's lyrics can be difficult to understand, although Snow's flow keeps the track moving along nicely.
Together we all have a Mr. Tornado. Informer, You know, say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like you boom boom down.
Although Snow scored a few more hits in Canada, Informer is his lasting legacy in the rest of the world. At one point in history, I almost certainly had a mixtape of all of these songs recorded off the radio. Anyway, but our number one is a song that I still listen to, and I am proud to tell you that. So let's look at some honorable mentions, and then we'll name our top one-hit wonder of the 1990s. But first, I'll give you a little clue. Anyway. Whoop, there it is, Tag Team. Because a party ain't complete without this 90s classic hit. Baby Got Back, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Because this track has become an inescapable part of pop culture.
She's just so fly. I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
Jump Around, House of Pain. Because on the rare occasions hip-hop and rock mix well, they produce something great.
I can't make it down, so get out your seat and jump around. Jump around. Jump around.
I'm Too Sexy, Right Said Fred. Because everyone at one point or another has sung their own version of this song.
I'm too sexy for my car, too sexy for my car, too sexy by far.
One of Us, Joan Osborne. Because this song's simple but effective.
What if God was one of us?
Number 1, What Is Love? Hadaway.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Now this is a debut single. Love is probably the most overused topic in music, but this Eurodance classic distills the theme down to its essence, asking a universally relatable question that manages to be both direct and profound.
I don't know why you're not there. I give you my love, but you don't care.
Hadaway's soulful vocals bring a lot of weight to the bursts of verses, while the beat maintains an intense rhythm that is impossible to resist.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Hadaway might not have scored another timeless hit in the US, but What Is Love lives on in dance clubs, on the airwaves, and in pop culture. This might be a good time to tell you that I do not believe in guilty pleasures, just like what you like. That's why I am not embarrassed that I love that Hadaway song, and a lot of the songs on this list actually. So, what's your favorite one-hit wonder of the 1990s?
Think one-hit wonders were left in the 90s? Think again. Let's look at recent one-hit wonders who burned bright and fast.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best one-hit wonder tracks from 2015 to the present. These artists have only one notable hit, and/or they're only known for one song in particular. Number 10, Rich Men North of Richmond, Oliver Anthony. It's not often that a song goes viral for its message.
So I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away.
No matter how you felt about it, Rich Men North of Richmond clearly had a hold on certain American audiences. Oliver Anthony entered the conversation in a flurry of attention, heated debates, and scrutiny.
Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do.
Both sides of the political aisle offered up their opinions, while the artist himself remained fiercely independent about his message. The straightforward sound and guitar playing bring out the country flair. Rather than making it a big production, this self-released track is filled with a kind of authenticity you can't buy. It's also rare that a relative unknown becomes a star so fast.
I've been selling my soul, working all day.
Number 9, Whoop-Dee, CJ. Embracing the drill genre, CJ delivered this exciting song.
Blue cheese, I swear I'm addicted to blue cheese. I gotta stick to this paper like blue sleep.
It was released on his EP, Loyalty Over Royalty. Reaching the top 10 on the Hot 100, this multi-platinum track gave audiences a jolt in the early 2020s. Whoop-Dee is his only charting single so far, but is obviously an entertaining one.
Smoking the Zaza, it goes straight to the Mata. Then I'm up in the chopper, hitting the cha-cha. Open his lata.
You can't forget his lyrics either when you hear him mention blue cheese. All in all, you can tell why people fell in love with his energy and intense vocals. While he's been working with the likes of French Montana, he hasn't yet escaped the shadow of this hit. Number 8. Roxanne, Arizona Cervase. In all his pop rap glory, Arizona Cervase emerged in the late 2010s.
Met her at a party in the hills, yeah. She just wanna do it for the thrill, yeah.
Roxanne is the track that put him on the map and helped earn him a chance at Columbia Records. While it's not the Police song, the laid-back beat carries its own engaging rhythms. Cervase had TikTok and Spotify to thank for some of his fame.
Roxanne, all she wanna do is party all night.
Both platforms elevated his presence in the music scene, helping the young artist break through. The music itself makes you want to sing along and move to the trap beat. Releasing his first studio album in 2023, the rapper still has yet to deliver another tune to top himself. Number 7. Lil Boo Thang, Paul Russell. Cracking the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100, Paul Russell brought back the power of disco.
Put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good, so I took the doors out the deep. Okay, I see a brother holding your seat, no beef, but I'm trying to get to know you at least. Don't take my time.
The track feels both like a throwback and a modern tune. Sampling Best of My Love by The Emotions, the song has an upbeat vibe anybody can love. Russell also throws in some fun-loving lyrics to enhance the music.
To the back, to the front, you a 10, baby girl, but I'm the one.
Getting huge on TikTok, the single roared on the charts and even appeared in blockbusters like a Minecraft movie. The singer also got to open for Meghan Trainor on her 2024 tour. If he can find that kind of nostalgic magic again, he might be able to break the one-hit wonder curse.
You my little boo thing, so I don't give a hoot what you do say, girl, I know. You a little too tame, I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know.
Number 6. Dance Monkey, Tones and I. If you love electropop, you could do a lot worse than Dance Monkey.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine.
Tones and I went to number 1 on all kinds of international charts. With a strong vocal performance, the artist asserts herself in a slick production. Her efforts also resonated with a global audience.
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before.
This might be because of the cool beat or the easy-to-remember lyrics, but either way, it clearly struck a chord. She went from a street musician to an international sensation in a few short years. The Australian might have charted on other singles, but her subsequent releases haven't endured in the same way.
When you're done, I'll make you do it all again.
Number 5. Golden Hour, Jake. For this viral hit, Jake became a much bigger star in the 2020s.
It was just two lovers sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other.
He reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. With his pop track, Golden Hour mixes more mainstream sounds with a few classical flourishes. There's an incredible piano part at the center of it all, providing the foundation for some beautiful melodies. The singer also shows off his powerful voice, building to a fantastic and vibrant chorus.
It's your golden
These kinds of inventive elements shook up TikTok in 2022. With interest from both American and global audiences, the artist created a ballad for listeners everywhere to love. He's since worked with the likes of Nick Jones and Tori Kelly, but nothing quite hits like this one. Number 4. Bad Habit, Steve Lacy. Even before this song, Steve Lacy was associated with all kinds of icons. He worked with everyone from Frank Ocean to Kendrick Lamar. Following work with the band The Internet, he cultivated his own solo career that includes 2 albums. His second record, Gemini Rights, was his biggest individual success.
Can I bite your tongue like my bad habit? Would you mind if I tried to make a pass at it?
It included the multi-genre hit, Bad Habit, taking Lacy to another level of attention. The single defies an easy label with its awesome hook and compelling lyrics. He mixes psychedelic styles with R&B and pop, easing the audience into something special. No matter what else he does, he'll always have this chart topper to be remembered by. Number 3, ABCDEFU, Gale. With this top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, Gail became a new artist to watch in the 2020s.
Now you're texting all my friends, asking questions. They never even liked you in the first place.
Her catchy single, ABCDEFU, features some clever lyrics that are instantly memorable. Getting a boost from platforms like TikTok, the song went viral around the world. The musician was even Grammy nominated for her work.
A, B, C, D, E, F, you and your mom and your sister and your job.
It features a pop hook mixed with some rock and punk influences, making it accessible to an even wider audience. She's had other great opportunities as a writer and performer, including a spot on the Barbie movie soundtrack. The singer clearly has enough talent to defy the one-hit wonder label.
I was into you, but I'm over it now. And I was trying to be nice.
Number 2, Panda, Designer. Some music can hypnotize you in seconds. In the case of Designer's Panda, the artist utilizes his skill set to maximum effect.
Panda, 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 panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Just to lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers.
His 2015 release represents the greatness and diverse sounds of trap. As a hit single, it went to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Songs charts. You don't even need to know what he's saying to enjoy the vibe.
Pop a perk, I got signed a gorilla. They come and kill you with bananas for feelings. I feel it, pull up in the fan.
After being sampled by Kanye West, the track took on another life as a piece of recent music history. The rapper had moderate success with his song Timmy Turner, but it didn't resonate in the way this one does.
Package smoke, Danny, selling ball, candy. Man on the macho like Randy. The chopper go out to for Grammy.
Number 1, Feel It Still, Portugal, The Man. It's the beat and groove that drives you mad. Feel It Still is the infectious song that shook up 2017 and beyond, but also made stars out of Portugal, The Man.
Can keep my hands on myself. Pick out dust them off, put 'em back up on the shelf.
Their hit became the talk of the late 2010s, as it appeared in everything from the Billboard charts to commercials. The Grammy-winning tune is easily their most notable to date.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now.
Featured on their album, Woodstock, the group enjoyed some popularity before releasing a less successful follow-up. Their 9th record, Chris Black Changed My Life, features some cool collaborations, but it failed to chart in the US. There's always a chance their blend of alternative and psychedelic styles will get them another big single. Did we forget another one-hit wonder from the last decade? Let us know in the comments below.
It turns out that some one-hit wonders borrow a little more than inspiration. Let's check out one-hit wonders who are ripoffs.
If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while DJ revolves it. Ice, ice.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 instances where artists who are known for primarily one song were perhaps arguably caught red-handed with somebody else's material.
Don't get caught alone, oh no.
Number 10, The Verve, Bittersweet Symphony.
It's a bittersweet symphony that's life.
This crossover smash single by England's The Verve hinges upon one very noticeable sample within its arrangement. A sample that wasn't cleared with enough parties beforehand and resulted in a major copyright lawsuit that destroyed band morale.
Change, I can change, I can change, I can change, but I'm here in my moment.
The song in question was Bittersweet Symphony, and it sampled the Rolling Stones. But there's a catch. The sampled material is actually taken from a cover version of the Stones song The Last Time, performed by the Andrew Oldham Orchestra. This otherwise arcane point of reference is probably lost on listeners and fans of The Verve, but it most certainly was not lost on former Stones manager Alan Klein, who was successful in his litigation.
But I'm here in my moment. I am here in my moment.
Number 9, 2 Live Crew, Pretty Woman.
Walking down the street. Pretty woman. Girl, you look so sweet.
2 Live Crew may be best known for their late 80s hit Me So Horny, but there was another song whose ripoff status may be lesser known to fans. In fact, The song was so controversial that a case surrounding it went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Girl, your hair won't grow.
The case, Campbell versus Acuff Rose Music Incorporated, references the Two Live Crew track Pretty Woman, which was a parodic ripoff / retelling of the Roy Orbison classic Oh Pretty Woman.
Walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to meet.
Two Live Crew were turned down by Acuff Rose Music during their initial clearing phase for permission, but recorded and released the song anyway. The resulting legal victory for Two Live Crew helped further cement parody as a viable form of artistic expression. Number 8, De La Soul, transmitting live from Mars.
Écoutez, à midi.
Quelle heure est-il?
Il est midi.
The legitimacy of sampling within hip-hop music endured an uphill battle as the genre gained popularity in the 80s and 90s. As a result, not every artist appreciated having their music used without their authorization and attempted to sue for royalties or songwriting credits.
Quelle heure est-il? Quelle heure? Quelle heure?
De La Soul sampled You Showed Me by the Turtles for their song Transmitting Live from Mars.
You showed me how to do exactly what you do.
The classic rock group sued for damages, and the case was settled out of courts. The question remains, however, should De La Soul be labeled as ripoffs for stealing the Turtles' music without permission, or does the reuse of that music then constitute a new form of art unto itself? It's a valid discussion that rages to this day.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a à manger? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Number 7, Men at Work, Down Under.
Traveling in a freighter combi.
The moral behind the construction of this next song may be, watch from where you steal musical inspiration. It may come back to bite you in the butt.
Come from a land down under. Beat us slow and mention her.
Greg Ham and his bandmates from Men at Work found this out the hard way when it came to light that Ham nicked a bit of the Australian children's tune Kookaburra for the group's smash Down Under.
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree.
It took until the year 2007 for the similarities between the two songs to come to light, but that didn't mean that the publishers of Kookaburra weren't out for blood. They successfully sued for back royalties to the tune of 5%, dating back to 2002. Number 6, Gnarls Barkley, Crazy.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Some of the best sample sources can be taken from obscure places. Well, at least obscure to the average listener. Die-hard fans of Italy's spaghetti western genre likely knew immediately that Gnarls Barkley ripped off a catchy little melody from a film soundtrack.
And I hope that you are having the time of your life.
The movie in question was Viva Django, aka Django, Prepare a Coffin. Crazy is musically indebted to the sort of atmosphere present within these scores, and copied so much from Viva Django that composers Jan Piero and Gianfranco Reverberi received songwriting credit. It's the sort of earworm that you won't be able to ignore once you hear it, and we hope that somewhere a Gnarls Barkley fan was inspired to check out some of these badass old westerns.
Baby, we're crazy. Probably.
Number 5, Terry Jacks, Seasons in the Sun.
Bye to you, my trusted friend.
Some of the best songs go through multiple hands before they become hits. Seasons in the Sun was actually written and performed multiple times, including by Jacques Brel, who adapted the Belgian song Les Moribonds for his version in 1961.
Adieu curé, je t'aimais bien, tu sais, on n'était pas du même bord.
Years later, Terry Jacks would take this hand-me-down Seasons in the Sun all the way to the bank in 1974 for his career-defining hit.
Goodbye, Michelle, it's hard to die.
Fans of the Canadian singer-songwriter probably have no idea that this version was also recorded, but initially unreleased by the Beach Boys as well.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.
Not too bad for a Belgian song that became a French song that then traveled to America and Canada for chart success.
But the wine and the song, like the seasons have all gone.
Number 4, Baha Men, Who Let the Dogs Out.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
You might not think that a one-hit wonder as innocuous as Who Let the Dogs Out could possess such a convoluted and complex backstory, but here we are. In fact, there's been an entire documentary made about how Who Let the Dogs Out doesn't belong to Baha Men or anybody else, really.
Well, the party was nice, the party was pumping.
What is known is that the copyright ownership is ridiculously convoluted, with many agreeing that the hook dates somewhere back to 1959. Fingers are pointed and hands are raised as to who exactly is responsible for that call and response refrain everyone recognizes. But one thing's for sure, the most famous version is certainly not an OG.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Number 3, Ray Parker Jr., Ghostbusters.
Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Let's get one thing out of the way. Ray Parker Jr. has most definitely achieved chart success away from his smash title theme to Ghostbusters. However, his public profile is almost indelibly connected to this tune, with many laypersons on the street probably struggling to name one of these aforementioned hits.
Seeing things running through your head. Who can you call?
One person who just might have a beef with Parker Jr., however, is Huey Lewis, who was initially contacted to write a theme back in 1984. Lewis claimed that Parker Jr. utilized the arrangement of I Want a New Drug for Ghostbusters and sued.
I want a new drug. One that won't make me sick. One that won't make me crash my car.
The pair settled out of court, but Parker Jr. would later sue Lewis for breach of confidentiality. It's all a mess, but we want to know, do you hear the similarity?
I think you better call Ghostbusters.
Number 2, Robin Thicke, Blurred Lines.
If you can't hear what I'm trying to say.
You may know about the lyrical controversy behind Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines, but did you also know that there were some alleged musical shenanigans going on behind the scenes as well?
Can't let it get past me. You're far from plastic.
It all depends on how you look at it, because Thicke knowingly admitted to being inspired by Marvin Gaye's Gotta Give It Up when writing Blurred Lines. The Gaye family successfully sued for royalties, but it brings up a deeper question. Does musical inspiration count as theft? Every artist is influenced by someone, yet it's up to the songwriters in question to differentiate themselves enough to justify the new material's existence. Or maybe the courts just got the decision wrong with this one. You decide. Number 1, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby.
Ice, ice, baby.
It's true, a lot of people might know the story behind Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby, but you could be hearing it for the first time if you're not a 90s baby.
And I'll glow to the extreme. I rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
It's pretty much become common knowledge by now that Ice heavily adapted Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure for this hip-hop hit.
Pressure, pushing down on me, pressing down on you.
Specifically, it's John Deacon's iconic bass line from this aforementioned Queen song that gets manipulated for Ice's big moment in the sun, albeit given an extra ting here and there. That said, youthful fans of Vanilla Ice might have been unaware that this Queen jam was heisted for Ice Ice Baby. That is, until they grew up and realized they'd been bamboozled all along.
I kick my juice. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while DJ revolves it. Ice, ice, baby.
Feel like debating sample viability or one-hit wonder status?
Come as you are, as you were.
Let's face it, the spotlight can be harsh, especially ones that burn fast. Here are one-hit wonders with tragic backstories.
All I can do is just pour some tea for two.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at artists known for one song whose life stories ended on a down note.
I'm a scat man. Repeat after me.
Tommy Page. Before turning 20, Tommy Page had a #1 hit with I'll Be Your Everything, which members of New Kids on the Block helped him write and produce.
So long that I've waited for a girl.
Aside from his hit single, Page is probably best known for his appearance on the Full House episode Crushed, where he was the object of Stephanie's affection. After his career as a performing artist ended, Page went back to NYU and graduated from its Stern School of Business. When he returned to the music industry as a record executive, his tenure was instrumental in the careers of artists like Green Day, Alanis Morissette, and Michael Bublé. Sadly, Page died in 2017 and is believed to have taken his own life. The Singing Nun. Jeanine de Kers was a Belgian nun and then member of the Dominican order when her song, Dominique, took off. The cheery tune about the priest named Saint Dominic was nominated for several Grammy Awards in the mid-1960s, winning one. In 1966, there was even a movie based on Decker's life starring Debbie Reynolds as the titular singing nun.
His armor was devotion and the gospel was his sword.
Unfortunately, her success was short-lived. Though still religious, de Kers found herself in disagreement with the convent and the Catholic Church. After parting ways, she tried unsuccessfully to continue her music career, but money troubles got in the way. De Kers and her life partner, Annie Peische, took their own lives in 1985. Though the singing nun is gone, Dominique lives on in movies and TV shows.
Dominique, nique, nique, mais la guerre, je le rends, le camp, le que j'entends.
Jennifer Page. A light pop track from the late 1990s, Crushed by Jennifer Page isn't a song you would associate with tragedy. However, a decade after the song came out, Jennifer Page faced a host of tragic setbacks.
So let it be what it'll be. Don't make a fuss and go crazy over you and me.
In 2008, her parents both died about 2 weeks apart, and in 2010, their home was washed away in a flood right before Page was set to sell it. In 2015, she was diagnosed with skin cancer, though she ultimately recovered.
Just a little crush.
Page has admitted that these tragedies kept her spirits down, but her music and her fans were able to help her power through.
Not like everything I do depends on you.
Ray Smith. Fans of the Fallout video game series might recognize the Ray Smith song, Right Behind You.
Right behind you, right behind you, baby.
However, the song that Smith received success on the charts with was the early 1960s hit, Rockin' Little Angel.
Rockin' little angel, come down from the sky, come on down from the sky.
Despite the rockabilly track selling more than 1 million copies and peaking at number 22 on the Hot 100, Smith wasn't able to replicate another hit.
Rockin' little angel, I love you so, I love you so, I love you so.
After some shows and bouncing from record label to record label, he and his family moved to Burlington, Ontario, Canada, where he eventually returned to playing country music.
Rockin' little angel, you're oh so sweet, you're so sweet, you're so sweet.
In 1979, Smith took his life at the age of 45. Rob Bass and DG Easy Rock. If you're a fan of old school hip hop, then you've certainly heard It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone.
The song, which peaked at number 3 on the US Dance Club Songs chart, was a top 40 hit on Billboard's Hot 100, helped its eponymous album reach platinum status. It Takes Two is such a classic that it's been used in samples by artists such as Snoop Dogg and in video games such as Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
'Cause I'm a leader, the man, superior. I take curia and then you get worrier.
The duo from Harlem had been friends since the 4th grade and had moderate success in the 80s and early 90s.
It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight.
However, diabetes complications would lead to DJ Easy Rock's death in 2014 at age 46. Scatman John.
I'm a scat man.
John Paul Larkin had a rough childhood in which he struggled with stuttering.
Everybody stutters one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If the scat man can do it, so can you.
Though he was able to cope by playing the piano, Larkin also struggled with substances and alcohol. After relocating to Europe, the American released an album where he fused jazz with Europop, and the 1994 single, Scatman, Ski-Ba-Bob, Ba-Da-Bop, really took off.
While you're still sleeping, the saints are still weeping, because things you call dead haven't yet had the chance to be born. I'm the scat man.
Its popularity, including multiple #1s in Europe, led him to take on the Scatman persona to help him shed his insecurities related to his speech difficulties. Following his newfound success, the 53-year-old Larkin encouraged young people to accept themselves, no matter their shortcomings. Scatman John continued to make music for a few more years, but unfortunately died of lung cancer in 1999. Blind Melon. This 90s band had some critical and commercial success thanks to their performance of their song No Rain. Though it has a cheery, folksy melody, the alt-rock track was actually based on bassist Nathan Towne's girlfriend's depression.
I just want someone to set me.
The music video for the top 20 Billboard Hot 100 hit was directed by industry veteran Samuel Baer and is best remembered for the young woman in the bee costume. However, just after Blind Melon released their second album, lead singer Shannon Hoon died from an overdose of illegal substances.
You don't like my point of view, you think that I'm insane.
The band struggled to replace him and broke up in 1999, only to reform, break up, and get back together again throughout the 21st century. OMC, short for Otara Millionaires Club, this group from New Zealand is best known for How Bizarre, now a major source of 90s nostalgia.
Brother Bellas in the back, sweet singers in the front.
Following the chart-topping track, OMC managed to find continued success in their native New Zealand for a short time thanks to other singles off of their one album.
Destination unknown as we're pulling for some gas. Officially placed a poster reveals a smile from the pack.
However, in 1998, frontman Paulie Fumana and OMC partner Alan Jansen went to court over royalty disputes.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
But they got back together in 2005 to record more music. Sadly though, Fumana died of progressive demyelinating neuropathy in 2010 at the age of 40.
Every time I look around, it's in my face.
Del Shannon. This artist is best known for the hit song Runaway.
As I walk along, I wonder what went wrong.
Shortly after the Rock and Roll Tunes 1961 release, it was the #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100 for a month straight, and it was selected as one of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time.
I'm a walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel a pain.
While Shannon continued to have a bit of success during the next few years, his music career hit a bit of a rough patch in the 70s due to his alcohol use disorder.
I wonder,
In 1990, mounting pressures and possible mental health issues led Shannon to take his own life. 9 years later, he was honored with a posthumous induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
my little runaway, run away.
Minnie Riperton.
Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful.
The mother of SNL cast member Maya Rudolph, Minnie Riperton, was a talented singer who had a 5-octave vocal range. Her vocal range was on full display for the 1974 song Lovin' You.
No one else can make me feel the colors that you bring.
The Billboard Hot 100 chart topper was a soul and pop number written by Riperton and her husband, Richard Rudolph. Unfortunately, Riperton was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1976 and became an outspoken advocate, spreading awareness. She was later honored by President Jimmy Carter with the American Cancer Society's Courage Award. She did not disclose her terminal status publicly and continued to make music, putting on a brave face. 3 years later, she would die at the age of 31. Which one hit wonder do you think deserved more hits?
Wanna know the rest? Hey, by the rights.
It was a time when the hair was big and the one-hit wonders were massive. We're going to end things today with a whopping 50 one-hit wonders from the 1980s that you forgot were totally awesome.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for those musical artists whose lasting legacies are primarily tied to a single song from the 1980s. Performers with multiple charting singles will be allowed as long as their public profile retains one big hit.
Mississippi, in the middle of a dry spell.
Number 50, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, Hooked on Classics Parts 1 and 2. The monumental success of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in 1977 led to a whole slew of other artists attempting to revamp classical music for a disco and post-disco age. Hooked on Classics Parts 1 and 2 is just that, an amalgamation and medley of Beethoven, Mozart, and more, all set to an electronically danceable beat. Dance floors were still chock full of disco during the earlier part of the 1980s, despite opposition to the contrary. This meant that novelty tunes such as Hooked on Classics Parts 1 and 2 could still thrive within an era of hard rock, heavy metal, punk, and new wave. Number 49, The Adventures, Broken Land.
These wheels run too deep.
There is a massive hook to be found within the main verse section to Broken Land by The Adventures. It's sort of strange to look back today and wonder why this Northern Irish group never really achieved the sort of success their musical talent seemed to deserve. Broken Land possesses a huge-sounding production job too, one that's polished and cavernous, drenched in magically resounding reverb. This allows the chorus of Broken Land to strike even harder, a powerfully melodic section that makes the most of Terry Sharp's wonderful vocals. The Adventures managed to make folk-influenced pop music cool back in the late 80s. It's just a shame not enough folks managed to check them out at the time. Number 48, The Afternoon Delights, General Hospital.
No one could prove that he was a crook till Luke stole his little black book.
The writing was sort of on the wall when this group decided to name themselves after a one-hit wonder from the previous decade. The Afternoon Delights became something of a self-fulfilling prophecy, since this very niche tune was probably destined for dollar bin obscurity status. General Hospital is a proto-rap / post-disco jam that uses its lyrics to summarize and recap various plot points from the long-running soap opera General Hospital.
Monica likes to have a fun, that is why she had a son.
Rebecca Hall actually deserves some props for being on the ground floor of adopting a hip-hop vocal cadence, while the musicality of General Hospital is a funky jam that wouldn't sound out of place on a Chic record. We'd be lying if we said this one hasn't grown on us.
I just can't cope without my soap. General Hospital, tell me what's going on.
Number 47, The Rainmakers, Let My People Go Go. There's a quirkiness to the Rainmakers that sort of makes us understand why commercial appeal seemed consistently outside the grasp of this Missouri-based rock act. The horn sections aren't for everyone, and Bob Walkenhorst's idiosyncratic vocals are equally unique to a fault.
Tell the boys with the horns, get down and blow.
A deeper listen to Let My People Go Go reveals some strong songwriting chops, however, particularly how the pre-chorus leads into its main anthemic hook. The lyrics are equally outside of what pop fans normally heard during the mid-80s. With some pop culture references and clever wordplay, it's not always easy standing out from the crowd, but the Rainmakers certainly walked to the beat of their own musical drum. Number 46, The Lotus Eaters, The First Picture of You.
There's a chant of newborn singing.
The 80s featured numerous British acts that found success with their brands of sophisticated pop. Yet the Lotus Eaters was one of the few cult acts that didn't quite achieve the same levels of visibility as some of their comrades. This wasn't through any lack of trying, of course, and The First Picture of You is one of those tunes that forgoes a lot of flashy style in favor of songwriting substance. There's a nice jangle to the guitars that lends the Lotus Eaters a certain gothiness analogous to some of The Cure's more upbeat material.
First picture of you, the first picture I saw.
At the same time, however, the first picture of you never feels like a copycat. Perhaps that's why the Lotus Eaters had difficulty following it up. Number 45, Double, The Captain of Her Heart.
It was way past midnight, and she still couldn't fall asleep.
This is the sort of song that was destined for the grocery store playlist. Background music for many of us to hazily remember, but not enough to properly identify. The Captain of Her Heart by Double hangs its creative hat upon Felix Haug's keyboard playing, particularly those hooky notes that leap out at us during the chorus.
Captain of her heart.
Meanwhile, Kurt Malou's vocals are understated but in a cool way. A low-energy slow burn that works, given the songwriting circumstances. We're not going to say that Double was cheated out of an epic career or anything, but The Captain of Her Heart still works wonders for us all these years removed.
Too long ago, too long apart. She couldn't wait another day for.
Number 44, Lip Sync, Funky Town. The song may have been written in 1979, but its 1980 release date as a single just slides it in under the nose for our criteria. And we're glad too, because Funky Town by Lip Sync was one of those late-era disco jams that helped prove the genre didn't die in the 70s. The dance floor remained big business, and Funky Town served as an expertly crafted jigsaw puzzle of melodic hooks and earworm ideas that burrow their way into our brains.
Won't you take me to Funky Town? Won't you take me to
There's a certain weirdness and coldness within the electronic composition of Funky Town that just works. Meanwhile, the string sections and synth stabs all come together with some bubbling bass guitar and that famous chorus.
Won't you take me to Funky Town?
Number 43, Bang Tango, Someone Like You. The death of 1980s hair metal was greatly exaggerated by the end of that decade, as evidenced by the proliferation of groups like Bang Tango into the 90s. This LA group took cues from other bands attempting to mix glam riffs with other genres of music, with Someone Like You going hard on the sleaze. The band's debut LP, Psycho Cafe, also had some funky moments on there for adventurous listeners, in addition to heavy rockers like Sweet Little Razor. Meanwhile, the star of Someone Like You is that chorus, which offers a place for singer Joe Lestay to howl his brains out with a voice that peels paint off the walls. Consider this one a worthy hair metal deep cut. Number 42, Spandau Ballet, True.
This is the sound of my soul.
Have you ever wondered why some band names or song titles click within our memory banks while others struggle for that connection? Spandau Ballet isn't exactly a moniker that rolls off the tongue, while True is a very simple yet also forgettable song title. Yet we know this classic 80s jam from the moment that vocal ad-lib hits our hearts.
I know this much is true.
True is a great song, and Spandau Ballet seemed primed for equally great things after this tune's chart success. At the same time, however, it seems as if this British pop group will always be tied to this mega hit, rather than any of their other great songs, which is sort of a shame, right?
This much is true. This much is true.
Number 41, Paul Hardcastle, 19.
Vietnam, he was 19. Vietnam, he was 19.
His is a name synonymous with trailblazing electronic music during the 1980s, a keyboard wizard that saw chart success come to him with 19. This hit song from 1985 was just one highlight from Paul Hardcastle's enviable career, and proof that one-hit wonders don't necessarily live in obscurity after striking it big. Instead, Hardcastle's legacy today is respected, both for those who dig the poppiness of 19, as well as for those who appreciate Hardcastle's other electronic and jazz records. It's It's remarkable to analyze the sampling, production, and composition of 19 today. The song was just so ahead of its time. 19 also fully leaned into its political message, which also stood out from other more disposable music of the era.
I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Number 40, Grateful Dead, Touch of Grey. The Grateful Dead truly didn't need to embrace the video age with Touch of Grey in order to earn success or respect. They were already certified legends in '87, but this music video allowed the Dead to cross over to a new audience and a younger demographic. The image of Jerry Garcia and company performing as skeletons proved to be an iconic one. And Touch of Grey was a hooky pop tune that streamlined the Dead's jamming psychedelia. Sure, fans know all about the Grateful Dead's classic discography, but Touch of Grey was a party where everybody was invited, including the MTV generation.
Touch of grey, kinda suits you anyway. And that was all I had to say.
Number 39, When in Rome, The Promise.
If you need a friend, don't look to a stranger.
British synth pop hadn't waned during the late 80s, and instead attempted to carry on its legacy of chart success with new artists like When in Rome. The Promise sounds tailor-made for the dance floor, and boasts a full-sounding production that could easily pass for a tune 5 years or so into the 90s.
Sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say. Promise. I know they don't sound the way I planned them to be.
When in Rome certainly seemed to know a good chorus when they heard one, and The Promise contains a great one. This was the group's only major flirtation with the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the US, although diehard fans of When in Rome know full well there are probably other tunes that could have potentially broken through to the masses. Number 38, Susan Fassbender, Twilight Cafe.
Sometimes I get so alone. There's only one place I can think of to go.
Susan Fassbender and her songwriting partner Kay Russell scored a UK singles hit back in 1981 with Twilight Cafe. The song is an earworm if ever we've heard one, an infectious tune that's led by Fassbender's charming vocals, her impressive keyboard skills, and a catchy bass line.
I'm under neon lights, and pretty soon I'll find my way to the Twilight Cafe.
If Twilight Cafe commits any sin, it's being a little innocuous, but there's an economy to the songwriting that feels intentionally simple. This ultimately works in the song's favor, although Fassbender and Russell never really reached the commercial heights of Twilight Cafe again in their careers.
The beat gets stronger in a mystical way. Pulsates around me as I dance and sway.
Number 37, Boy Meets Girl, Waiting for a Star to Fall.
I hear your name whispered on the wind. It's a sound that makes me cry.
Never underestimate the power of a great turnaround. Seattle's Boy Meets Girl clearly knew what they were doing when they wrote and released Waiting for a Star to Fall in 1988. The song boasts a great chorus and strong vocal performances from the duo of George Merrill and Shannon Rubicam. But it's that little turnaround hook before the chorus hits that turns Waiting for a Star to Fall from a good song into a great song.
Trying to catch your heart is like trying to catch a star.
Meanwhile, the decision to modulate the song's finale adds to the impact and texture of Waiting for a Star to Fall. It's a perfect pop storm that still sounds great so many years later.
Waiting for a star to fall and carry your heart into my arms.
Number 36, Kix, Don't Close Your Eyes.
What you doing out in the nighttime?
The subject of self-destruction isn't, historically speaking, one that tends to pop up within the world of 1980s hair metal. And it's true that Kix wasn't generally a band that worked within the rockin' and partying parameters associated with that scene. Yet Don't Close Your Eyes was composed in collaboration with an outside songwriter, Bob Halligan Jr., and this deviation from the formula ultimately worked in Kix's favor. Close Your Eyes is a moody ballad that feels sincere, particularly within the vocal delivery of Steve Whiteman. Meanwhile, the bridge section serves as connecting tissue to lift Don't Close Your Eyes significantly above the batting average of Kix's contemporaries.
Don't you take it lying down. No.
Number 35, Bonham, Wait for You.
Come tomorrow, one day, no
and Bonham likely felt a lot of pressure when it came to the formation and release of the Disregard of Timekeeping back in 1989. The son of Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham could have easily released a warmed-over rehash of his famous father's work, but instead, the younger Bonham pursued the Sunset Strip. Wait For You still possesses that bluesy crawl reminiscent of classic Zepp, only painted with a heavy sheen of stylish glam rock. Daniel McMaster's vocals channel a polished Robert Plant, while Bonham's drum work drives the song with a technicality missing from many other hair metal bands of the day. These unique elements all allow Wait For You to stick out from the crowd in a great way. Number 34, T'Pau, Heart and Soul. This British group definitely wasn't one-hit wonders at home, since other songs like Valentine and China in Your Hand hit the charts and earned T'Pau further success. It's heart and soul that's synonymous with T'Pau in many other areas, however, including North America. There are way worse songs with which to be associated, that's for sure, since Heart and Soul still sounds totally radical.
Now won't your love, heart and soul.
Carol Decker's intentionally murmured vocals on the verse feel half-rapped, before the singer brings the proverbial thunder for an epic chorus. Heart and Soul is a song that never overstays its welcome, instead begging the listener to flip the record over and spin it again. Number 33, Suzanne Vega, Luca.
I live upstairs from you. Yes, I think you've seen me before.
This is one of those songs that feels out of time, possessing a beauty that could work within any decade. Luca by Suzanne Vega possesses impeccable production and boasts arrangements that sound beautiful, juxtaposed against some tragically dark lyrics.
After that, you don't ask why, you just don't argue anymore.
Luca's subject matter of a protagonist suffering a harrowing and violent family life is a powerful one, and executed to perfection by Vega, whose narration tugs on our collective heartstrings. This is a bittersweet song, one that we love listening to, yet are always brought back down to earth by its enduring power and message.
Guess I'd like to be alone, nothing broken, nothing wrong.
Number 32, The Dream Academy, Life in a Northern Town. Pink Floyd guitarist David Gilmour was no stranger to collaborations, having worked with artists like Kate Bush alongside his own solo career. This included producing the Dream Academy's debut album, an LP that contained a major hit with Life in a Northern Town. The tune is lush, evocative, and atmospheric, with the vocalizations on the chorus probably serving as the most memorable aspect of its composition. It's sort of easy to see why Gilmour wanted to work with the group, since the Dream Academy definitely felt cut from a more experimental cloth than some other pop acts from the 80s. Number 31, Danger Danger, Bang Bang. This New York-based hard rock group loved a little reduplication when it came to their band name and their song titles. It was sort of a gimmick with Danger Danger, reflected in both singles from their self-titled debut album. Naughty Naughty didn't quite resonate in the same way as their second release, Bang Bang, but both tunes were polished and highly memorable slices of pop metal arena rock. The latter in particular possessed an on-the-nose but ultimately sing-alongable chorus, a silly anthem for an indulgent age. Meanwhile, the actual album proper contained a number of quality deep tracks, including Under the Gun and the rock-solid ballad Don't Walk Away. Number 30, Sheriff, When I'm With You.
I never needed love like I need you.
It wasn't unheard of for power ballads like When I'm With You by Sheriff to see chart success back in the 80s. It was, however, unique for such a song to resonate without a music video on MTV. This meant that Sheriff essentially did it the old-fashioned way, by writing good songs that rose up the charts via radio airplay and word of mouth. When I'm With You may sound somewhat formulaic by modern standards, almost like a parody of those hyper-sincere soundtrack cuts of the decade. Sheriff found an audience though, and When I'm With You deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as other 80s power ballads. This is thanks primarily to that insane ending high note, of course. Number 29, Mars, Pump Up the Volume. The origin of this experimental electronic hit was actually a collaboration between two different British artists, Colourbox and A.R. Kane. It almost didn't happen as well, since Pump Up the Volume actually came into being at the insistence of both groups' record label 4AD. The end results proved to be successful, however, with Pump Up the Volume serving to legitimize an embryonic house music scene into a major cultural player. This Mars track also pumped up the attention paid to its sample sources, including Cold Cut and Eric B. and Rakim, essentially being a win-win for everybody involved.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
Number 28, Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue.
Now in the streets there is violence, and none allowed soft work to be done.
Some music genres meld better with commercially viable pop hooks than others. It wasn't a foregone conclusion that reggae could cross over into the mainstream MTV generation in quite the same way as Bob Marley did back in the day. Yet Eddie Grant silenced all doubters in 1983 with his infectious style of funk-infused pop reggae.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Electric Avenue would go on to become a musical calling card for Grant. It's honestly sort of surprising that some of his other album cuts and single efforts didn't resonate in the same manner as Electric Avenue. But hey, nobody's ever gonna deny that this song is a banger, right?
Rock it in the daytime, Electric Avenue. Rock it in the night, take it higher.
Number 27, Benny Mardones, Into the Night. This hit from Cleveland-born singer Benny Mardones peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, but gained infamy for its lyrical content. The topic of age disparity in romance tended to overshadow the immense vocal power in Into the Night. However, a 2022 interview with the professor of rock on YouTube revealed how the late Mardones was actually inspired by a real neighborhood family he met during the songwriting process.
To me, it was just about this little girl losing her dad. And when radio got a letter sent out by the record company explaining the story, they started playing it. And of course, it went through the roof and became a huge monster hit.
The tune remains a resonating soft rock banger, although the song's initial controversy perhaps contributed to Mardones being unable to replicate its success. Number 26, Mary Jane Girls, In My House. Musical luminaries such as Prince and Rick James also composed and produced efforts for other artists in their creative orbit. The latter in particular assisted his studio singers, including writing the hit In My House for the Mary Jane Girls. The song was hugely controversial at the time, having entered the cultural zeitgeist during a period when the perceived degradation of morality was blamed by some on pop music. In My House was singled out by Tipper Gore and the infamous Parents Music Resource Center as being overtly sexual and harmful to children. Today, however, it's probably just better to remember the tune as a catchy, highly synthesized ode to 80s decadence. Number 25, Jack Wagner, All I Need.
Kissing you was not what I had planned.
It's a story as old as time. Actors wanting to rock and musicians wanting to act. Jack Wagner earned some chart traction with this hit from his debut studio album. But the success of All I Need may not have been a surprise to those who were familiar with Wagner's character, Frisco Jones, on General Hospital, where he showcased his musical talent.
'Cause it seems so hard to believe that you're all I need.
All I Need boasts a strong chorus and economical set of arrangements. The soap opera star was afforded some high-quality help during recording sessions from songwriting legend Glenn Ballard. Number 24, John Parr, St. Elmo's Fire, Men in Motion. The acronym AOR has been said to translate to everything from adult-oriented rock to album-oriented rock. But one thing's for sure, you know it when you hear it. You also know John Parr's voice when you hear it, since the man has delivered the goods on a number of film soundtracks. It feels sort of unfair to label Parr as a one-hit wonder as a result. But the British artist is admittedly most known for his theme to the 1985 film St. Elmo's Fire. The song is catchy as sin, with copious hooks to go along with Parr's powerful vocals. What can we say? We never get tired of this one. Number 23, Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning.
Out where the river broke, the bloodwood and the desert oak.
Midnight Oil was an Australian band that didn't feel political statements and commercial chart success needed to be mutually exclusive. Their fiery, passionate lyrics and a desire to have creative voices heard resonated with pop fans back in the late 80s with Beds Are Burning. This song about demanding rights for Aboriginal Australians also just happened to have a chorus for the ages, one that was instantly recognizable. The song's arrangements also benefit from its simple chord structure and anthemic tone. It is a near-perfect symbiosis of commercial success and artistic integrity. Number 22, Scandal, The Warrior. The New York City band Scandal may have notched 4 other hits on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, but none of them managed to crack the top 40. The Warrior, however, was a different story. It peaked at the number 7 position. This success feels justified because the song absolutely rocks with pure pop rock brilliance. The Warrior is anchored by Patti Smith's incredible vocals and personal style. Her voice displays both range and power. Meanwhile, that main riff is simple but super catchy and memorable. Scandal may have never shot to the top of the charts again after The Warrior, but we'll never forget that $1 million chorus. Number 21, Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. I would love to say with confidence that Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell would have been a hit without that $1 million Michael Jackson chorus. It just doesn't seem plausible, however, given the comparative chart success of Rockwell's other singles, Obscene Phone Caller and Peeping Tom. One hit song is certainly better than no hit song, of course, and Somebody's Watching Me remains a Halloween playlist staple to this day. Yet its longevity is likely more due to its macabre musical arrangements and MJ than Rockwell's Boris Karloff impressions on lead vocals. That said, Somebody's Watching Me remains a defining tune of the music video era, and one that we still love to pieces not just on Halloween, but every day. Number 20, Animotion, Obsession. Animotion was a unique group. Their ultra 80s sounding synth pop was tailor-made for the decade, and it's true that some of their other singles did chart on the Billboard Top 100. However, it's largely argued that Obsession is Animotion's #1 calling card. The song straddles a line between a clubby dance sound and colder, more experimental synth sounds found during this early part of the decade. It's this artificiality that works in Animotion's favor, however, since the song is actually a cover. The slightly more rock feeling of the Holly Knight and Michael DeBar original is replaced by Animotion's detached and computerized approach. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it works. Number 19, Matthew Wilder, Break My Stride. You may only know Matthew Wilder from his smash hit Break My Stride, but that's only part of the man's story.
Last night I had the strangest dream. I sailed away to China.
This New York native has actually been responsible for producing hits for a ton of projects and artists too, including no doubt Christina Aguilera and Kelly Clarkson, as well as the Disney film Mulan, for which Wilder co-composed the music. Break My Stride, a quirky tune taken from Wilder's 1983 debut album, is a reggae-influenced pop tune with a vocal inflection from the singer that undeniably sells the tune's charisma.
Never met another girl like you. Work me over.
This is breezy, feel-good music that's upbeat and impossible to resist. It's hard to believe this is Wilder's only solo brush with mainstream chart success.
Break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no.
Number 18, Kajagoogoo, Too Shy. Too Shy was a monster hit for the British new wave group Kajagoogoo back in 1983. The band did manage to follow up with other success in the UK, but for many fans across the pond, it's Too Shy that cements the group in a collective time capsule memory. This could be thanks to the band's arresting appearance that made frontman Limahl and crew easy on the eyes.
Hey girl, move a little closer.
However, the song itself also boasts an immensely memorable chorus, as well as subtly catchy slap bass work from Nick Beggs. Limahl would find chart success as a solo artist with the theme from The Never-Ending Story, but unfortunately, Kajagoogoo would never reach the chart heights of Too Shy ever again. Number 17, Murray Head, One Night in Bangkok. There seems to be a laundry list of actors who've tried their hands at the pop music game. Some of them have had more success than others.
Time flies, doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean spa had the chest bars in it.
Murray Head's thespian career took a detour into the music business, thanks to his performance on the rock opera soundtrack for 1973's Jesus Christ Superstar. However, his solo career is likely better known for yet another Broadway hit, One Night in Bangkok.
One town's very like another when your head's down over your pieces, brother.
From the musical Chess, this is a track that certainly feels like a show tune. Head, for his part, talks through the tune more than he sings, but his cadence is nothing short of catchy. Meanwhile, the chorus is an earworm of the highest order, accompanied by some of the most 80s sounding synthesizers this side of a Radio Shack. Number 16, Dexy's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen. It's not unusual for a pop act to strike gold more than once in their native land. Gino served as a second #1 hit for Dexy's Midnight Runners in the UK, but it's Come On Eileen that remains the group's calling card in other parts of the world. This is due in part to the song's iconic video, which arrived during the early years of MTV. The visual of the group clad in matching overalls would go on to become closely associated with their conceptual legacy. Meanwhile, the song's folk-influenced melodies and dramatic build during the finale make Come On Eileen feel so vibrant even today. We challenge anyone not to kick up their heels and break out dancing to this one.
Come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear it means at this moment.
Number 15, Aldo Nova, Fantasy. The glam metal explosion that would occur in a post-Bon Jovi and Quiet Riot world was still a hairspray can or two away when Aldo Nova released Fantasy in 1982. As a result, it doesn't feel unfair to give this Canadian axeman at least a little credit for being ahead of the curve. Fantasy is a hard rocker through and through, anchored by a sturdy main riff and some catchy keyboard accompaniment. Meanwhile, the video is all pomp and ridiculously laser-obsessed. Nova's skills as a guitarist, however, are no joke. His leads on Fantasy ensure that rock fans still remember this solo hit from back in the day, no matter how far away it gets. Number 14, The Church, Under the Milky Way. Because of their change-up in genre and style, The Church are a bit of a special case.
Sometimes when this place gets kinda empty.
A respected Australian rock act with a worldwide following. This is a band with numerous charted songs. With that said, Under the Milky Way from their 5th studio album was released at a time when fans had already latched on to the group's gothic and moody dream pop sound.
Wish I knew what you were looking for.
The song proved to have mainstream commercial legs all the same, earning the Church a top 40 US hit. It's easy to see why, too, as Under the Milky Way rolls over the listener with a smooth, stargazing melody and a soft, enveloping atmosphere. Number 13, Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time. Okay, so obviously Eddie Murphy isn't a one-hit wonder in any other famed aspect of his life. However, is there any song from Murphy's musical career that's as well known as this jam from 1985?
Girl, I can't understand it. Why you wanna hurt me?
Party All the Time is the sort of vanity project that one can only get off the ground when they achieve this level of fame. Hot on the heels of Beverly Hills Cop and his comedy special Delirious, Murphy was in the perfect position to release Party All the Time.
Girl, I seen you in clubs, just hanging out and dancing.
Still, the song is better than it has any right to be, thanks largely to the production duties of Rick James. The grandiose orchestrations hide Murphy's limitations as a singer and help lift Party All the Time to cult classic status.
My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time.
Number 12, Patrick Swayze, She's Like the Wind. Chalk this next hit up as another song from an actor who had no right being this freaking good.
She's like the wind through my tree.
Patrick Swayze proved that he was a treasure trove of creative riches when he released this soundtrack cut from Dirty Dancing. The actor actually co-wrote the song too, intending it for release alongside a different 80s film. Today, however, She's Like the Wind is nearly impossible to separate from Dirty Dancing. And why would you?
Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain?
The image of Swayze's earnest emotional vocals, that saxophone, the booming 80s production, it's just fantastic all around. Plus, Wendy Fraser assists Swayze near the end with her own great vocals. We can't help but miss Patrick Swayze just a little bit more every time we hear this beautiful ballad. Number 11, Robert Tepper, No Easy Way Out. Has there ever been a soundtrack cut better suited for a kick-ass emotional montage? Well, maybe, but Robert Tepper does his best with this contribution to the 1985 Rocky IV soundtrack, and succeeds in a huge way.
We're not indestructible, baby, better get that straight.
No Easy Way Out is an absolute banger, a surging pop rock tune that's anchored by persistent synth stabs, urgent bass playing, and Tepper's own dramatic delivery. Seriously, the man goes for broke right from the jump, eschewing subtlety for raw emotion and pure honesty.
I don't wanna pacify, I don't wanna drag you down.
Just check out Tepper's solo dance moves for the accompanying video and try not to be inspired. This is pure, unadulterated 80s awesomeness, undiluted to a perfect, excessive essence.
No easy way out.
Number 10, Don Johnson, Heartbeat. It isn't uncommon at all for actors to try their hands at creating music. While Don Johnson was co-leading the show Miami Vice, he released his debut single Heartbeat.
I've been out on my own, gonna go alone now, 'cause that's the way it's got to be.
The song's expensive music video features slick visuals that mimic the style and substance excess of Johnson's hit show. And it helps that the chorus of Heartbeat is instantly memorable and sounds epic.
Heartbeat, I'm looking for a heartbeat.
Although the production is super processed and ultra 80s, that isn't a bad thing for the song. Johnson's performative emoting and the video's dramatic narrative showed he was dedicated to making music. Unfortunately, Johnson's follow-up song, Heartache Away, didn't achieve the same level of success. Number 9. Taco, Puttin' on the Ritz. Although one-hit wonders don't have to be cheeky or weird, they can really stand out when they are.
Wear a day coat, pants with stripes, and cutaway coat, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz.
This was definitely the case with Taco's cover of the Irving Berlin song Puttin' on the Ritz. It became his only top 5 hit in the US back in 1982, shot to the top of charts in Germany, and even reached the number 1 slot in Finland.
Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air? High hats and arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time.
Puttin' on the Ritz is quirky and absolutely soaked in processed 80s synthesizers. While Taco puts in a performance that may not be traditionally good, it is definitely memorable. But it's still a one-off song that feels as distinctly 80s as Hairspray and Shoulder Pads.
Putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz.
Number 8. Stacey Q, 2 of Hearts. Stacey Q is a California-born singer who's been able to find success in the worlds of movies and music.
I never said I wasn't gonna tell nobody, no baby. But this beloved, I can't keep it to myself. Oh no.
Her synth-pop band SSQ earned cult status with the material penned for classic horror film The Return of the Living Dead. But the biggest hit of Stacey's solo career had to be 1986's 2 of Hearts.
People get jealous 'cause we always stay together. Yeah, baby. I guess they really wanna love like yours and mine. Together forever.
The song is infectious right from the jump. It boasts an energetic backbeat, electric synth, and Stacey's warm and appealing vocals. The singer proved that she could come across as both sinister and sweet.
I got this feeling that you're going to stay. I never knew that it could happen this way. Before I met you, I was falling apart. But now at last I really know what we are. 2 hearts that beat as one. 2 hearts, I need you, I need you.
None of her other tracks quite captured the magic of 2 of Hearts. However, it will always serve as the perfect B-side for Stacey Q's darker work in the horror realm.
2 hearts that beat as one. 2 hearts, come on, come on. 2 hearts that beat as one. 2 hearts, I need you, I need you.
Number 7. Shannon, Let the Music Play. R&B singer Shannon may have earned a couple of number 1 hits on the US dance charts over the course of her career, but Let the Music Play remains her biggest achievement on the Billboard Hot 100.
We started dancing and love put us into a groove. As soon as we started to move.
It's easy to see why. This smooth jam benefits greatly from Shannon's personable and melodic vocals. She manages to create a great chorus with the song, while the instrumentation also does exactly what it's supposed to do: get bodies on the floor.
He's dancing his way back to me. He's dancing his way back to me. Love says, let the music play. Won't get away. Just keep grooving and he'll come bring you again.
Let the Music Play is a great throwback to an R&B era that's old school but never dated. In fact, consider this one timeless. Number 6. Tommy Two-Tone, 867-5309 Jenny. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, the power pop subgenre was absolutely everywhere thanks to trailblazers like Cheap Trick and Blondie.
Johnny, I've got your number.
the group, known as Tommy Two-Tone, took full advantage of the trend to achieve modest chart success with Angels Say No. However, the song with which the band will always be associated is 867-5309, Jenny. The track absolutely rocks thanks to a killer opening guitar melody, awesome guitar solo, and instantly memorable lyrics. It's basically songwriting 101 for anyone searching to write a hit pop tune. The only people that were unhappy with this Tommy Two-Tone classic are people who actually had this phone number. Number 5. Quarter Flash, Harden My Heart. Some songs just have a timeless quality to them due to a mixture of nostalgia and vitality that keeps them in the public consciousness. Harden My Heart is definitely one of those tracks. This awesomely moody and memorable hit song comes from the Oregon-based group Quarter Flash. Rindy Ross is front and center of the song's success. Her plaintive, melancholic vocals and excellent saxophone playing work perfectly with the emotive guitar and insistent bass-driven groove. Near the song's finale, the tune becomes so urgent and powerful that we just cannot get enough. Harden My Heart was unquestionably this band's biggest smash. It's a shame more people don't remember Quarter Flash's impressive effort. Number 4. Baltimora, Tarzan Boy. If you're looking for a truly unique musical rabbit hole to explore, may we suggest the wild world of Italo disco?
Jungle life, I'm far away from nowhere. On my own, like Tarzan boy. Hide and seek, I play alone where I shoot across the forest, monkey business on a sunny afternoon.
This synth-obsessed subgenre provided countless single hits and strange music videos for fans to uncover. One of the most popular one-hit wonder tracks came courtesy of Baltimora with their hit Tarzan Boy.
Burning bright, I fight a blood to signal to the sky. I see the wonder, there's a message get to you.
The music video is a fever dream of hazy visuals and excessive makeup. But don't let those elements distract you from the fun vocals and strong composition of the song. Oh, and did we mention there's a version of Tarzan's yell within the track? There's an oomph to the arrangements that mixes just the right amount of repetition with melodies that burrow their way into your brain and just live there rent-free forever. Number 3. Alana Miles, Black Velvet. Since this song was released in 1989, it may sound a little bit less, well, capital E 80s. But that's not a bad thing.
Mississippi, in the middle of a dry spell. Jimmy Rogers on the Victrola up high. Mama's dancing, baby on her shoulder. The sun is setting like molasses in the sky.
Black Velvet from Alana Miles is the sort of slinky and sensual blues number that wouldn't sound out of place on a movie soundtrack. While Miles enjoyed success in her home country of Canada, Black Velvet serves as her singular calling card elsewhere in the world.
Mama's baby's in the heart of every schoolgirl. Love me tender, leaves me crying in the eye. Me and you, it was a song, so sweet and true. Always wanting more, eating, longing for.
This isn't taking away anything from Miles as a performer or Black Velvet as a song. It stands out from the late period hair metal and pop that was dominating the charts back in '89.
Black velvet and that little boy smile. Black velvet and that soul southern style. A new religion that'll bring you to your knees. Black velvet if you please.
Number 2. Martika, Toy Soldiers. 1989 was a good year for pop music. Part of the reason why comes down to Martika's Toy Soldiers.
It wasn't my intention to mislead you. It never should have been this way. What can I say?
In 1989, she released this fragile and melancholic melody to the masses. Despite its darker tone, it was a #1 hit in America that year.
It's getting hard to wake up in the morning. My head is spinning constantly. How can it be? How could I be so blind to this addiction? If I don't start, the next one is gonna be me.
There's a strength and sadness to the tune. The guitar melodies are impeccably produced, the drums are soaked in reverb, and Martika's vocals tug at the heartstrings in the best possible way. We are not ashamed to say that Toy Soldiers still makes us shed a tear to this day. Then again, that's the power of music, right? Even if you call Martika a one-hit wonder, you cannot deny that she created a classic with this tune. Number 1. Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Admittedly, Cutting Crew hit the top 10 with both I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight and their follow-up, I've Been in Love Before. However, the former song has endured far more than the latter as the band's most famous song. And with good reason, too. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight is a dramatic new wave hit that feels larger than life. The guitars are punchy, the synthesizers are perfect, and the lyrics are iconic. Frontman Nick Van Eede radiates both power and sensitivity as the brooding crooner at the lead of the track. We can't stop replaying this song on repeat and singing it at karaoke every chance we get. Our love for Cutting Crew's biggest hit will never die.
I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been some kind of kiss. I should have walked away. I should have walked away.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this special look at music's one-hit wonders. Thanks for watching. I've been Matt from Watch Mojo, and I'll see you next time.